borrowing money and doing with. The 6:30 p.m. news attempts an answer. Those were the top stories. Details of this and more up next. Hello there, I'm delighted joining you on tonight's edition of the 6:30 p.m. news. My name is Fabrice Ketinga. We are live from Yaoundé, and we open the news file with activities leading to the 60th edition of Cameroon's National Youth Day, because the activities have been launched in the East region of Cameroon. The launching ceremony took place in the town of Garigambo under the watchful eyes of the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Monuna Fortson, this Monday, the 2nd day of February 2026. This officially marks the beginning of a 10-day program to culminate with the National Youth Day on the 11th of February 2026. The 60th edition of the National Youth Day in Cameroon has been placed under the theme Youth at the Heart of Great Aspiration for a United, Stable and Prosperous Cameroon. On the occasion, the minister distributed installation support materials, agricultural equipment and professional kits to beneficiaries of the special 3-year youth plan for the 2026 financial year. This initiative, according to officials, aligns with ongoing efforts to promote the socio-economic integration of young people, a priority championed by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya. Let's now have an excerpt of the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Monuna Fortson, who was speaking today in Garigambo in the East region shortly after launching the 60th edition of Cameroon's National Youth Day.
Yes, first of all, I would like to say that as the commissioner of the head of state, the message is the one he dedicated to young people during this celebration, which is the theme of the celebration, and which gives an appeal to young people to engage themselves in the operationalization of that vision. And all the activities organized are aiming to achieve that goal. And this special launching here in Garigambo was very appreciated. As you have seen, there is a great mobilization of the young people themselves, but other life forces of the region and the elites, so that they appreciated the choice of the head of state, which is the first launching of his mandate of great hope. So I think it is important that from Garigambo, all the other Cameroonian youth should master that vision and involve themselves in the implementation of the other activities of the
Monuna Fortson, Cameroon's Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, speaking there after launching activities marking the 60th edition of the National Youth Day. On to something else, the 2026 edition of the National Bilingualism Week in Cameroon has been launched. A special ceremony to that effect took place this Monday, February 2, in Edeya, that is in the Sanaga Maritime Division in the Littoral region of Cameroon. The event was presided over by Secondary Education Minister Professor Nalova Lyonga. This year's theme, Artificial Intelligence at the Service of Bilingualism, highlights the importance of using technology in the promotion of Cameroon's two official languages. On to something else, Cameroon's Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Celestine Kecha-Cortez, has officially launched the 2026 round of development projects transfer from Mindu to local councils, with a strong focus on improving basic urban infrastructure. A total of 9 billion francs CFA has been allocated to 145 municipalities nationwide, including over 3.2 billion francs CFA for 73 councils of the South Zone. The funds will finance public utilities and development of public spaces aimed at improving living conditions of citizens. Here now is an excerpt from the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Celestine Kecha-Cortez.
East, South, and Center region, this important envelope that has been granted to them in terms of road, in terms of place, in terms of lighting. I'm happy to see that 2025, 2 projects have suffered, but the many projects has been implemented and completed for 100%. It was very important to us to sit with the mayor, making sure that they know exactly what project has been transferred to them, making sure that our divisional delegates are there to support them, and calling them to implement very quick these projects in terms of the modernization and the sustainable development of the cities as wished by the head of state, in terms of mobilize local and central resources to ease the life of the population at the local level.
Let's now take you to Garua in the north region of Cameroon, where a tragic circumstance has been reported in that part of the country, where a young man was found dead in his room, that is in the locality of Liande Deniem. This has raised concerns about the security in that part of the country, as Micheline Bilowa tells us more.
The grim discovery was made on Sunday morning in the Liande Deniem neighborhood. The victim, a young man known locally for running a small shop, was found lifeless in his room, lying in a pool of blood. According to initial information, the alarm was raised by his elder brother, who had not heard from him since the previous evening. Worried, he went to check on him and found the door locked from the inside, while the victim's phone rang unanswered within the house. After repeated attempts to get a response failed, the brother forced the door open and made the macabre discovery. Early observations indicate that the door showed no signs of external break-in, suggesting the victim may have known his attacker or attackers. Neighbors described the deceased as calm, discreet, and helpful, making the incident even more disturbing for the community. Security forces have opened an investigation to determine the exact circumstances of the killing and identify those responsible. Meanwhile, residents are calling for justice and stronger security measures to prevent similar.
We stay in the North, Michelle, where the Lakdo Municipal Council in the North region of Cameroon has been rocked by a deadly overnight attack that left a security guard dead and several council offices looted. The victim, identified as Ngongmunga Diodone, was on duty at the Municipal Revenue Office when the incident occurred. His body was later discovered under the veranda of the administrative building. Authorities say he was killed before the attackers proceeded to break into municipal offices within the council premises. According to local sources, the assailants first opened the Municipal Revenue Office, Civil Registry, and other administrative units. Important documents were vandalized, office equipment stolen, and an undisclosed amount of public funds also taken away. The perpetrators have not yet been identified, and investigations are reportedly underway to track down those responsible for the attack. On to something else, militants of the Cameroon People Democratic Movement Party in the Houtnyong 3 Center have been drilled on party discipline. This comes as political parties in Cameroon gear up for the upcoming twin election, that is the municipal and legislative elections. We have details of this story with Jackie Yebele.
It was the posture of a true political soldier that the president of the CPDM section of Houtnyong Center 3 chairs the sectional conference of his political unit. This strategic meeting took place at a crucial time as the party steps up preparation for upcoming electoral battles with the aim of consolidating its achievements and strengthening its grassroots presence. In an atmosphere that was both festive and studious, marked by strong militant participation, CPDM communicators engaged party members on several key themes. This included grassroots mobilization, the strengthening of proximity-based political communication, militant discipline, as well as loyalty to the party's ideal and vision. The sectional conference also served as a platform for evaluation and strategic reflection. Participants reviewed past electoral processes, analyzing strengths, weaknesses, and challenges encountered in order to draw the necessary lessons and improve the party's performance in future electoral contexts. A highlight of the political gathering was the presence of the head of permanent delegation, whose attendance added prestige to the conference. He praised the dynamism, militant commitment, and leadership of the section president, while urging party members to remain united, disciplined, and fully committed to the ideals of the CPDM. In the Union Center 3, the CPDM is thus sharpening its strategies and reaffirming its determination to remain a major political force, convinced that discipline, unity, grassroots engagement, and sustained mobilization are the keys to future victory.
Thank you very much, Jackie. And in Bamenda, inhabitants, so municipal authorities as well as administrative authorities in that part of the country are sounding alarm over the growing practice of dumping refuse in streams. Municipal authorities have warned the population that this threatens public health and the environment as well as local infrastructure as the rainy season draws closer. Details with Micheline Bilowa.
Environmental officials in the Mezam division have cautioned residents against turning streams into dumping grounds, noting that some inhabitants are bypassing official waste collection systems and disposing of garbage directly into waterways. According to the Divisional Chief of Service for Conservation and Monitoring at Minepede, Mezam, the consequences are already visible: polluted water, clogged channels, and rising exposure to disease.
Water is contaminated. It leads to destruction of the aquatic life. By aquatic life, we mean the plants and the microorganisms that are found in the streams. For example, the various types of fish, they are destroyed and leading to the disruption of the food chain and consequently the disruption of the natural ecosystem of that environment.
Authorities explain that beyond contamination, blocked streams increase the risk of flooding during heavy rains and damage fragile ecosystems. The practice also generates avoidable economic costs linked to sanitation and disaster response. Residents are therefore being urged to wait for waste collection trucks and use authorized disposal points as part of efforts to keep Bamenda clean, safe, and environmentally sustainable.
This news comes to you from the Central News Desk of B News 1 in Yaoundé, the heart of the nation. And as we told you in one of our top stories, Cameroon's public debt has soared past 14,000 billion francs CFA, pushing the country into the World Bank risk category for debt distress, a situation that could squeeze public finances, raise borrowing costs, and threaten essential services if collective measures are not taken. Now, what has the government of Cameroon been borrowing all these billions and doing with? We put this question to our reporter, Benjamin Afanui.
Cameroon is now classified as high risk of debt distress by the World Bank, meaning the government is struggling to meet its financial obligations without harming vital public services like health and education. Public debt in Cameroon has climbed above 14,000 billion CFA, driven by both domestic and external borrowing to fill budget gaps and fund development projects. According to official sources, some of these loans have been tied directly to major infrastructure and social projects. In the first quarter of 2025, the government signed 5 new loans agreements totaling 242.9 billion CFA to finance key initiatives. This included a 106.9 billion CFA loan for the rehabilitation of the Garouangaoundere Road. About 130 billion CFA was used to develop the Ebolowa-Kribi Road. Entrepreneurial support and skills development stood at 40 billion CFA. Power sector support at 48 billion CFA, and the rice chain project was at 15 billion CFA. While government continues to borrow to fill physical gaps, rising debt services costs are shrinking the fiscal space needed to tackle poverty and unemployment. This means more public revenue are used to servicing loans rather than fund healthcare, education, and the economy. However, the Minister of Finance reassures the people not to fear about domestic debts. This has not only reassured Cameroonians on domestic debt financing, but also on future external debt servicing.
Benjamin Afanyu reporting there. Now, Njebe was the scene of a historic moment with the official launch of the activities of the Association of Women Leaders of Abongbang, marked by strong mobilization and a vibrant atmosphere. The occasion highlighted the determination of women to unite their efforts and play a leading role in local development. Jackie Nyebele reports.
Njebe came alive with the official launch of the activities of the Association of Women Leaders of Abongbang, an exceptional mobilization set in an electric and vibrant atmosphere, reflecting the strong commitment, determination and collective resolve of women in the subdivision. Under the leadership of Mrs. Claudine Lubazal, the association aims to promote mutual support, solidarity and women's leadership as key drivers of community development. With nearly 700 members drawn from all neighborhoods and all villages of Abongbang, the association already stands out as a well-structured and inclusive social force. Beyond the celebratory aspects of the ceremony, the events also provided an opportunity to outline an ambitious vision for the future. On this solemn occasion, the president set the course towards 2026 with actions focused on training, economic empowerment, capacity building, and social support for women. In Njebe, the women of Abongbang are thus sending a strong and clear message: unity and solidarity are powerful levers for sustainable local development.
Let's now talk sport on the 6:30 p.m. newscast, and we take you to Bamenda, where it was a thrilling afternoon yesterday, Sunday, February 1, as PWD Social Football Club of Bamenda imposed a 4-1 victory over Stade Bernat of Melong in the second day of play. That was the first victory for PWD of Bamenda, and the game marked the return of the M10 Elite 1 Football Championship in Bamenda. Notorious among the supporters was the governor of the Northwest region, Adolphe Lele Lafrique. We have highlights of that game in the following report. PWD Social Football Club of Bamenda delivered a commanding performance at Ntafi Proximity Stadium in Bamenda, securing their first victory of the season with an impressive 4-1 win over Stade Bernat on Sunday, February 1. The Abakwa boys took control of the match early, dominating proceedings within the first half. Their pressure paid off in the 28th minute when Dortmund Fielding broke the deadlock to put the home side ahead. PWD continued to push forward and doubled the advantage in the 41st minute after Fabrice Nde calmly converted from the penalty spot, sending the home fans into celebration with a 2-0 lead. Stade Bernat showed brief signs of resistance in the first half stoppage time, pulling one back to reduce the deficit. However, their hopes were quickly dampened when Aliyu Yaya restored PWD's 2-goal cohesion deep into stoppage time, making it 3-1 before the break. After the restart, PWD remained in control. Junior Gumbat sealed the victory in the 60th minute, netting the 4th goal for the home side and putting the result beyond doubt. The win marked PWD of Bamenda's first 3 points of the season, lifting them up to 7th place on the league table. The coach of the Abakwa boys was a happy man at full time.
I think the boys have proven that we have been working very hard. The boys have proven that we really wanted to overturn what happened in Limbe last week. We are very happy, and we hope that we'll keep working so that they can repeat what they did here this afternoon in our next game.
The encounter drew thousands of supporters, including the governor of the Northwest region, Adolphe Lele Lafrique, whose presence added prestige to the thrilling afternoon of football in Bamenda. In the other results recorded on March Day 2 of the MTL Elite 1 Football Championship, Katong Sports of Garua and Eagle of the Mongo played a 0-0 draw, and Gazelle were 2-0 winners over Column of the South. Kanong of Yaoundé lost at home 0-1 to Fabre Azum. AS Fortuna and Aigle of the Menoa played a 0-0 time. Dynamo FC were 3-1 winners over Victoria United of Limbe. Unisport of Banfang and Pangtel of Dende played a 0-0 game. In more sports news, ahead of the upcoming Mount Cameroon Race of Hope built for Boya on the 22nd of this month, Mimbia Sports Promotion organized the 22nd edition of the Ekindi Tiwa Mini Mountain Race over the weekend. The race, spearheaded by His Royal Majesty Chief Albert Njembonde, brought the community alive, as you share in the following report. The 22nd edition of the Ekindi Tiwa Mini Mountain Race on Saturday, January 31, 2026 in Bokwango, Boya, southwest region of Cameroon. The event, spearheaded by Chief Albert Njembonde and President J. Luma Francis, drew athletes of diverse ages and backgrounds for a competitive test of endurance, strength and mountain running skill.
Last man, we go clap for you like we go clap for first man. So more na run fine.
The race served as an important build-up event to the upcoming Mount Cameroon Race of Hope, giving participants an opportunity to assess their fitness and readiness for the international competition. The event received strong backing from several sponsors and supporters, including His Royal Majesty Chief Njembonde Albert, Mani Lucy Limua, Efoy Mola Jibuju, and the Evankis Lot Mayo, and the Limbe One Council, represented by Florence Mayi. Organizers designed multiple race categories to accommodate different age groups and ability levels. The main race climaxed at the summit. The junior race finished at Nda Mokala. The veterans race ended at Jore, while the mothers of Mimbia race concluded at the Health Center.
Whatsoever that started good has ended in a good footing.
The presence of traditional authorities, notably the Chief of Bokwango, alongside other dignitaries, added cultural prestige and community significance to the sporting event. Competition across all categories was intense, with junior, senior and veteran athletes pushing their limits in pursuit of victory. At the end of the race, trophies and recognition were awarded to outstanding performance in the various categories. Participants and spectators alike praised the organizers for delivering a well-coordinated, safe and exciting competition. The success of this 22nd edition has highlighted anticipation for the forthcoming Mount Cameroon Race of Hope, as Boya steadily builds momentum towards one of Africa's most iconic mountain races. 5 minutes to the top of the hour, 7 p.m. at the foot of Mount Cameroon in Boya. It's same time in Yaoundé. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the 6:30 p.m. news. In the meantime, Severin Alega will be here at 7:30 p.m. for the English news in the French language. My name is Fabrice Ketinga. Until we meet again, God bless Cameroon. Good night.